Hey guys, Taro here. Welcome back to another video here on F1 2018, this time the start of a new series. And as you've seen by the title and the thumbnail, it's going to be a classic car championship with about, I think, 8 or 9 rounds. I haven't quite decided yet. But have you just seen, look at this, have you ever seen a more beautiful grid of cars and a better sounding grid of cars as well? Not a V6 1.6 engine turbo hybrid in sight. And then some of the cars at the back, probably they've all got faster engine than that definitely. And now, take a look at how the qualifying went. It'll be the 2004 Ferrari on pole, with the 2003 Williams in second, and the 2007 Ferrari in third, with the Brawn in fourth, the Red Bull in fifth. We got sixth in 2006 Renault, with the McLaren in seventh, and the 2002 Ferrari really bottling it, starting outside and starting qualifying, but all the cars starting class order, so it will start from 8th. And the reason I chose the Renault is because it's my favourite Formula 1 car of all time. And yeah, the lead of the C3 cars here, the 79 Ferrari, which is about 25 seconds per lap slower than the Ferrari in qualifying. So in a 25% race here, so it's about 13-14 laps. So we might be seeing those maybe 2-3 times. So might cause a bit of mayhem, but starting from P6 now, right behind that Red Bull, which has the same engine as our Renault. Although I think this is when the engine freeze happened, I think in 2006 or 7. So either way, it's got a Renault engine, and there won't be too much difference in it between them. And then you got the 2002 Ferrari starting behind us instead of down in 12th or 13th where he bottled in qualifying. I think it'd be a bit of a shame. I think he should actually start where he qualified and not just behind the back of the class. I was waiting for the back cars to grid because that McLaren, the latest at the back was about near 30 seconds off the pace. Now coming to the 5 red lights for the start of the Australian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Okay, good start here from our paces. We've got absolutely nowhere to start. I think this Renault has traction control or anything. And with Renault 10 with the Brawn sweeps. There's 3 cars now into the lead of the race. And the Racers moved out into turn 1, gets into the lead, trying to find out up the side now of the 95 Ferrari. Just barge out of the way. Managed to make our way now back up down to 9th or 10th, so still behind a few C2 cars. Look at that, we've got the 92 Williams trying to get mixing in now with the 2002 Ferrari, and the Red Bull as well, just cut in front though of the 98 McLaren, which is the newest car in terms of the C2 class. So we're still behind both of them though, but that 92 Williams with its active suspension, of course it's the FW14B. It's going to be pretty nippy straight line. Actually pulls side by side with the McLaren. It gets so much better. It gets forced onto the grass though by that McLaren, which was Mika Häkkinen's championship winning McLaren of 1998. We forced that McLaren out wide. Now we get up now into P9, but P8 in our class. And I've made up a point system for this race, for this season. So every car scores points down to last place. So it's not going to be the traditional 25, 15, 12, 10 or whatever it is. And then going now through sector 2, we're already pulling away. Actually, the McLaren has come back. It's got some good straight on speed though with that Mercedes engine. Try to pull side by side now. We just slow all in front. Of course, that McLaren, although it's about 6 years older than our Renault, it has got a V10 in it. We can shoot right around the outside though of that Renault because of the Renault powered Williams. It got so much more cornering speed because there's the advantage with this car. So much more downforce than a Williams, which is considerably older, about what, 12 years older car. So it's doing over nothing in the corners. And apart from that, we've got the 2002 Ferrari, which made a good start. So it's up 1 place in class, and so if you think about it, it's made about 5 places already since it didn't start where it should have. Then you got, we're running a bit of a gather over that Williams because through the slow speed corners, we don't really pull away too much. Because of course, none of these cars have DRS either. Because of that 2010 Red Bull, DRS wasn't a thing until 2011, so that's not going to have any advantage. You know, that's going to be all about what the cars can do in terms of straight on speed and everything. So it's back to how it should be, with the cars actually performing to what they should be able to do. And the McLaren is all over the back though. All the 92 Williams, we're coming into territory. A bit of a lock up though from the Williams, but it just managed to depart the bus and keep it in front. Although look, you can see the gap that they've already pulled over the 95 Ferrari, which is in 3rd in class. Moving a bit further on. Got the 2010 Red Bull now all behind the back of that 2008 McLaren, because pretty much the same spec engines in the back of those 2 cars, so there's going to be too much between them. Could understand one Red Bull trying to look for a way around yesterday, but McLaren just parks it in the middle of the road. Of course, I think that McLaren may be a little bit wider, not too sure. I mean, they look about the same, but you think it just looks wider to me anyway. But on the run now down into territory, Red Bull trying to move it inside. No, he can't, because straight line speed wasn't the Red Bull's strong point in the 2010 season and has never really been a Red Bull strong point. And now coming through the same sector, all over the back though of that 2002 Ferrari, because it may have a mega straight line speed and acceleration with that V10 Ferrari engine, but it just hasn't got the downforce, of course, because it is a 4-year-older car. And they're trying to dive up inside, catch the Ferrari napping, going to barge our way straight past Izumi in that Ferrari. Of course, no, you have no real life driver names in that car, because we can't have about, we'd have 2 Michael Schumachers in the race. We had actually had the real names. It'll be Vettel in front of us and then Lewis Hamilton as well. They're running all over the grass though. That's not going to do ourselves any favours now. We're going to try and pull away there from that Ferrari behind us, because that thing's going to be monstrous. You see, it is gaining us though through the sector because of the straight speed and acceleration of the F2002 to be a strong point now. Looking back to that McLaren, which is still different from that Red Bull, because the Red Bull over a lap, you think might well be the fastest thing here, but besides the 2004 Ferrari. Now it's getting now, McLaren just blocks the line because nothing really the Red Bull can do. And then coming up through the third sector now is where the Red Bull, if he was in front, should be pulling away easily with that good chassis and aerodynamics, of course, of that AG Newey design Red Bull. Now then, Green now round the final corner. Is the Red Bull this time close enough? It looks to be a little bit closer than what it was to the McLaren last time, but the McLaren with that Mercedes power you think would have the advantage in straight line speed. With some good solution there, the Red Bull's going to try to get around the outside because the McLaren is going defensive now. To the inside line now, on the run down, it's going to be side by side. The Red Bull can try to stick it around the outside, use that good chassis and aero to his advantage and just plant it right around the outside. And he makes the move, a stick on the McLaren, but now the McLaren with that Merc power and of course the solution as well, going to try and pull now back to the outside, going to try to repass. Red Bull now down his turn, he can keep it side by side, of course these two squabbling just allowed us in the Renault here to catch up so much because you think, overall, the Renault, in a normal situation, might be one of these slowest cars here. Because it's one of the oldest cars as well, but and also it doesn't have the V10 engine because it's 2005. 2006 actually I think was the first year of the V8 engines, which is what in the back of our R26 Renault here. And we're still catching up to the back of the McLaren because McLaren might be and of course the 2007 Ferrari, which is completely just gone up the road in this race anyway. But you think just on what the cars are, those are the two cars that really should be around our pace on a legitimate standard. We see we're pulling away from the 2002 Ferrari because unlike the 2004 Ferrari, it's got a little bit less downforce. Of course, one has a monstrous shallow speed is what that car is all. But get a good run though out of the high-speed S's. And they're getting out on the back though. All this McLaren Mercedes are going to try to get it around the outside and go lay on the brake and try and hold it around the outside of the McLaren, just about keeping two wheels on the track and making a move around the outside. But the McLaren's going to try and fight spark now to the inside. And we side by side now. It could have been, but the McLaren there just backs out of the move now into the second to last corner. We're ahead though of that McLaren Mercedes. And of course, with these races, you don't actually have to make a pit stop. So these set of tyres that we're on will take us all the 14 laps on this race, but the McLaren though, with some good solution now, of course that Merc engine is well going to be gaining that back, but something's never changed with the Merc powered cars having a good engine. Means turn one, the McLaren is just a bit too far behind. He's actually falling away from us a little bit because that McLaren wasn't the front running car of 2008. So it's not going to be the best in the dirty air conditions. Now coming now into turn 3, he's just not close to try and make a move on us. But in front, actually got one of the slower cars in front of him, actually it's the 72 Lotus, which is about 30 seconds a lap off the pace. I can try and go around the outside, now going to make this move there around the outside of the list. But Lotus actually really holds up here, the McLaren. The Lotus is squirming, all of them really had nowhere to go in that instance. That's going to put up the 2002 Ferrari now right on the back of this McLaren. But now then, let's be where the Ferrari has the advantage now through this half of the lap. Needs to use that good Ferrari V10 engine to its advantage, but the McLaren, with its good traction and more downforce, is able to pull away out through the corners. Now then, this is where the Ferrari is going to need to keep close if it stands any chance of trying to get past that McLaren. But even McLaren in a straight line is actually slower than this Ferrari, it's just pulling enough of a gap now, coming now into the chicane. The high-speed chicane is the McLaren through the corners, just easily putting that power down a lot easier. The Ferrari will be still, I mean, credit what it's still trying to do what it can, but coming now into the final sector of that, this can be where the McLaren pulls away with its such better aero. But now catching up to the back though of another one of the CS3 cars, make a dive up the inside, I think, of the 79 Ferrari. It could have been one of the Marlboro McLarens. I mean, they're both red and white from the back, so you can't really tell which one's which from just looking at the rear wing of it. As Aaron Barnes puts up the fastest lap of the race, and that's the car in front of us, so I'm guessing he's the Red Bull. Yeah, I'm going to have to learn these names fairly quickly. And then coming now into turn 1 and try and gain on them. Our best lap here is a 1 minute 29.9, and that's significantly slower than the lap Barnes just did. Now looking up front, we've got the Brawn still leading the way. Of course, the Brawn, if you take out the 2004 Ferrari, is probably the third fastest car. He's actually being held up though by one of the cars further back. Is this one of the McLaren? Actually, that's one of the Ferraris. Actually, he's been holding it up, and now here comes the new Ferrari, the 2010 Ferrari. Going to try and move around the outside of the Brawn. Is this inter-team Ferrari work here? Who finds out the Ferrari because of the power down? It's going to be side by side now with the Brawn, and the Ferrari's just got it on the inside line now. Here comes the 2003 Williams BMW as well. They're trying to the Brawn could lose 2 positions. They're coming now into the chicane, and the Brawn's just lost 2 places there, getting held up with some brilliant teamwork from the 2 Ferraris. Of course, in different classes. Of course, fighting both for individual championships as well as the overall one here for the 2007 Ferrari. And of course, then being held up by the 79 Ferrari, I think it was. That's brought the 2004 Ferrari, the pole-sitting car, back into play. But now then, we've got the BMW Williams here now being held up by, I think, the lead running Ferrari as well. Going to make a move around the other side. They're going to be outside the Brawn's going to try and make a move back inside, but the Brawn just hasn't got the engine power. That BMW Williams, it's just a mega straight line. Actually, now here comes the 2004 Ferrari. Going to try and make a move around the side, and the Brawn gets blocked by the McLaren. There's a huge contact between the Ferrari and that Marlboro McLaren, and the Ferrari just makes its way through. The Brawn's having absolutely no luck with the traffic in this race. He's gone from first down to P4 effectively all because of the traffic. You think that, yeah, the 2004 Ferrari is the fastest thing here in a straight line, but with all the corners on in this circuit, like you've seen with the 2002 Ferrari against the McLaren, it should be so much faster, but actually the Brawn's not going to try and come back now with the Ferrari coming into turn 1. Just not close enough. That Ferrari just got some insane acceleration and straight line speed in it as well. Who's looking now from the T-cam here, the Brawn, you can just see, even literally that Ferrari's just gapping the Brawn going down into turn 1. Actually, the 2010 Red Bull was not actually too far off the back of this queue either. And taking a bit of a break from that mega front rebuttal, looking at battle now here in C2. Actually, I think this is the third place overall here in C2. We've got the 95 Ferrari just about in front of the 96 Williams still. And looking at it here, with how different these two cars look, I think there was quite the regulation change you've seen for 1996, because they've gone from the traditional like pointy nose cars of that Ferrari to pretty much more of what they looked up until 2017 in that Williams though. The thing is, it's 1 year newer, so it's going to have the trail speed advantage, of course, with those aero regs. It definitely looks to be the faster car. That Ferrari got some good lower drag on it with its more simplistic aero by the looks of it. And they're coming up to that. The Lotus, there's contact! There's contact with the Lotus, and the Williams lost the Williams out of the race, and Williams just smashed off his wheel on the back of the Lotus, and there goes, I think, the 88 McLaren. No question, looking at replay, what just happened? So the Williams tried to go for a gap in between the middle, but just misjudged it, and smashed into the back of that Lotus, and I think, I'm surprised the Lotus. Actually, you think, because cars back in the 70s were just made of just pure steel, so it's not really all that surprising that the Lotus is actually still able to carry on from that. And now, on to lap 11 of lap 15. We've been quite the way on. We're now catching up to, I think this is the Brawn front. It looks like a white car. Actually, it's same class, and we gain so much more speed here on that Brawn, so we actually go purple through the first sector, so finding some mega pace actually coming into these final laps here of the race. I don't know if the Brawn's got an issue or something, but it's going a lot slower, and you think on the downforce, that Brawn's definitely got a lot more than what this Renault has. And coming up on there, see the Brawn there, it does pull away, so it's definitely still got some good traction, so I don't know if it's just experiencing some tyre work. So I think the Brawn is that and the Red Bull are the only two cars out of the C1 cars, at least anyway, that are actually on groove tyres. Actually going to pull side by side now, with the Brawn trying to make it on the inside, make it a little bit contact. The Brawn tries to squeeze us, but the Brawn and the Red Bull, as I was saying, are the only cars that are running on slick tyres. And of course are effectively, well, we think they had Michelin's, although the tyres are unbranded. These tyres could literally just last forever. Now catching up to the back though of another one of the C3 cars to put them in. I think this is two laps. I'm going to try and make a dive up the inside. I think that was the 76 McLaren of James Hunt. And he managed to make the move past, but now coming down now. Let's try the Brawn actually got behind once again. So once again, the Brawn just having literally no luck with traffic whatsoever. Just going up. Actually, we aren't actually that far off a fast lap either. It's actually now a 29.1, so we definitely found some good pace as the laps have gone up, but still nowhere near the leading pace of what that Red Bull could set over one lap. Now catching up to the back now of another one of the C2 cars here, which I think is that the 79 Ferrari once again. The way they're coming through the second now, trying to move past them. And I think it is indeed the 79 Ferrari to put them 2 laps down now. And we get it past them, thankfully not having a massive crash like the Williams did on the back of that Lotus, and now coming through the second sector to try and put in the pass now. And moving a bit further onto that lap, we're still on the same lap, but Lato just moving now into the third sector. And catching up there, actually massively catching up here to one of the cars in front of us, actually 2 of the cars here as well. Actually, is that the 2004 Ferrari? Coming right into the pit lane. Why is the Ferrari coming into the pits? He must have had contact here with something. Now it's going to blast past that Marlboro McLaren, one of the many Marlboro McLarens in this series anyway. They make the move now into turn 1, easily clear of all the cars, and once again we're getting tantalisingly close to our first lap, so our consistency has really picked up in these final few laps. But why is the Ferrari? The Ferrari must have just smashed off his front wing or something on the back of one of these slower cars. That's the only thing I can think of anyway. We come now into turn 3. Looking at a replay of what happened to that 2004 Ferrari. It's actually been passed somewhere along the road by the Red Bull, so that's something we missed. And actually there's one of this, so McLaren just parks it on the racing line, and the Ferrari just slams back. I mean, to be fair, the McLaren had nowhere to go. The Ferrari had all the track in the world. But again, I think that's the difference. You don't anticipate the closing speed of a Ferrari, which can do it easily over 200 miles an hour, to a McLaren, which I think will be lucky if it can do about 180. So, if that, so definitely look at that. Literally, that's HRT levels of downforce on that front wing, maybe even actually less. So then the Ferrari has to come into the pits, which has to drop it down easily to the back of C1 class. But every position matters with the point system, which you'll see at the end of the video. So it's still great. Everything's still to fight for. All it takes is one bad race for whichever is the car is in the race lead, which I think is still the 2007 Ferrari. And the Ferrari coming for new tyres, which you can change. You can change tyres if you want to. It's not like the actual to spec rules where you do the whole race on one set of tyres. You can come and change it if you want. There's just really no point. And then with the new front wing, 2004 Ferrari might actually end up coming. I would expect it to come and set the fastest lap of the race now on fresh tyres. Because the tyres are making. Oh wait, that's the Brawn. The Brawn was parked off on the side of the pit lane. It's the Brawn out of the Grand Prix. What's happened there? Two Jenson Buttons championship winning Brawn of 2009. I can replay that. It's running off the track, so it's already having issues. They're coming around the final corner. Actually, well, more crawling around the final corner. It's actually just limping now. It's definitely, well, it's not an engine failure because there's no smoke blowing out the back of it like when in 2006 when Button's Honda let go coming up to the finish line when it just stopped about here, didn't even make it up to the finish line. Looks like it's actually stuck in gear. It's stuck in first gear on system 1. I think it's stuck on the pit limiter, and then that's burned out of the race. I know if that's, well, it's Button's car of the race. It's not actually Jenson Button in the car. No, on to lap 14, so much longer to go this race. They're actually catching up though to the back of one of the C2 cars, which I think is the 95 Ferrari, which has had pretty much a lonely race here in P3 ever since the Williams and Dallas and stuff. We're going to go for pretty much a mobile chicane to get past one of the C3 McLarens, which I think might be the 82 McLaren. I'm not too sure about that from the looks of it anyway. Now to come now around the final corner, it's like the Ferrari's making an easy move past that C3 McLaren as well. And it's pretty much, he's only got one lap left to go now because it's been lapped, so he'll finish the race when the leader crosses the finish line as well. But if we just keep it going for this final lap, then he should be okay. It's massively ahead here of the 88 McLaren, which is just in an absolute way of tackle. So looks like the battles aren't really as close in the lower classes as it is with everything you see. One, I think, could end up winning one of the races throughout the season, and that's going to be McLaren versus McLaren. So hopefully the McLarens can keep it clean between the two of them when the 88 one comes up to lap the 82 one. And actually, we go purple through the first sector again. So we're finding some mega pace through this first sector in the final 5 or 6 laps of the race. It's a shame we can actually find that pace. Well, first of all, to get off the starting grid, we went absolutely nowhere off the start. And if that's an omen for the rest of the season, we're going to need to pull out something mega in qualifying just to put us a few cars forward and hopefully not get stuck behind any of the C2 cars in the future races. It looks like it's going to be a brilliant P4 finish because this car should not be up in P4. But still, there could yet be a changeover for second place because that Red Bull has been reeling in the BMW Williams, but coming now into the final sector. This is going to be with the Red Bull strong over the Williams, but still, I think it's just about going to run out of time. You've got so much more downforce as well. You've got so much more everything really, except for straight line speed, than what that BMW Williams has. Coming into the second last corner, I think the Williams is just about got it secured in second place. What's secured here in the lead of the race is the 2007 Ferrari, which wins the first round here in Australia of this Classic Cars Championship. And it looks like it's just about going to be second place for the BMW Williams. It is second place for the Williams. And then it's third place for the Red Bull, and we just about, well, say just about, I mean, we're looking to survive really, given what's happened to the Ferraris and the Brawn. So a brilliant P4. Taking a look at the end results, and the 2007 Ferrari takes victory, 4.5 seconds clear of the Williams, and the Red Bull rounds off the podium in third, with us in fourth with our fastest lap. Actually not too far off the leader's pace in the end, so finding some good pace in this car around here at Australia. It's the 2008 McLaren that comes home in fifth, with the 2004 Ferrari coming home in sixth place, but still somehow beating the 2002 Ferrari, so that's had an absolute mare in this race. And taking the honours in C2 is the 98 McLaren, which was way ahead, 22 seconds ahead of the 92 Williams come the end of the race, with the 95 Ferrari rounding off the top 10. 11th place goes to the 91 McLaren, in 12th the 1988 McLaren, with honours in C3 going to the 82 McLaren MP4, and was actually considerably faster over one lap than the 79 Ferrari, but you can't see the gap between them because they're both 2 laps down to the overall race lead. In 15th place we have the 78 Lotus, in 16th the 76 Ferrari, and in 17th the 76 McLaren, and look at that gap. Nearly 8/10 of a second between those two cars, and they're both from the same year, so the Ferrari definitely was the better car than the McLaren, so it just proves me more how much of a good job James Hunt did getting that car into championship contention even in the first place from round 1. With 18th and last of the finishes going to the 72 McLaren, with the Brawn and the 96 Williams both retiring from the Grand Prix. Finally, now taking a look at the point system, which of course will be the same as the race results. So you're going to take a quick look here at the point system. So it's the 2007 Ferrari which leads on 25, with the Williams in second on 19, and 18 for the Red Bull, 17 for us in the Renault, 16 for the McLaren, 15 for the Ferrari 2004, and then 14th for the 2002 Ferrari. So apologies for the graphics saying F2003. I think for the first 4 or 5 rounds, which is what I've recorded up ahead so far, I didn't actually realise that, so that will say 2003 to 2002, so apologies for that. Then 30 points for the 98 McLaren, 12 for the Williams FW14, 11 for the 95 Ferrari, and so on down to the bottom where you've got the Brawn on 2 points and the Williams, 96 Williams on 1 point, so still, the Brawn isn't out of the standings yet, but it needs one hell of a good result from the next race, and for the 2010 for me, all the C2 cars, the C1 cars have a really bad race for it to get anything back. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and you're hyped for this series. Remember to leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of your future videos. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they'll be linked down below in the description. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.